we are talking The Tombs. This one is directed by Dan Brownlee and stars Jessica Cameron and Jessica Ann Brownlee, who I'm assuming is related to the director. And this is a slasher movie that kind of is one of these haunted attraction things that you do, these scare attractions that you'll get. Tends to be more in America, although apparently we do have one here in the UK. And it's one of these haunted attractions that go awry movies. So, this is set in London, and I believe this is actually filmed in a real kind of scare attraction, I believe, in London, near the kind of the London Bridge, I believe. So the what it is there's this company's promoting a horror movie, and it's actually a sequel to another film that was called The Tombs. And there is a real life attraction, and they're using this as a kind of like a promotional stunt to both promote the films and the this kind of this scare attraction itself, by having a bunch of film stars and reality stars kind of spend the night in this scare attraction. There's reality stars, as a journalist, as a psychic, and things like this. So they're all meant to go in this kind of scare attraction and complete the quest and do the thing, this kind of thing. Like a bit like Big Brother, really, if you've ever seen that, but with added kind of ghosts and ghoulies. However, it just so happens that this kind of evil spirit has been resurrected and inhabits the body of this kind of mannequin that goes on the hunt and wants to kill anyone who he comes in path with. So let's talk about what works, first of all, with The Tombs. First thing for me, I think, obviously, where it is filmed. This is looks like it was filmed in an actual scare attraction, so therefore we have lots of kind of like fantastic kind of set design, loads of kind of different kind of varied rooms, and there's kind of things with like all these doll heads that are kind of moving around and light up eyes. So it looks pretty good. I've got to say, the actual set here, it looks quite fun, and I actually kind of appreciated the setup for this movie. We had this kind of like presenter lady kind of outside, and she's a bit like, if you ever watched Big Brother, she's kind of like the presenter out there, all the kind of the fans sort of screaming outside, which I thought was quite good and done pretty much like these reality movie sort of TV shows are portrayed here in the UK. So I thought that was actually quite a fun, a kind of a fun little extra. And we have seen a few of these kind of scare attraction movies within the last few years. I think probably the best one of recent memory was The Haunt, but there's been a few of them, both on kind of low budget straight to DVD, and obviously a couple of cinema releases as well. So it's a popular kind of, I guess now, subgenre. However, what is the issue with this one? So I think the first thing that will stand out for people is the quality of the acting here. The acting here is fairly stilted and somewhat wooden from the majority of the cast here, and it's also coupled with the way the characters are written. Characters are written to be very kind of two-dimensional, and only really have like one sort of facet to their personality, so to speak. So, the journalist is kind of like a sleazeball guy. There's a kind of like a bitchy kind of like actress who wants kind of the limelight, but they only ever really have one facet to their personality, and that's all that they get, apart from kind of like the nice guy who's like way too nice. So the characterization isn't very good. And amusingly, because this is about a film, there is actually kind of a line of dialogue here about kind of people, not having characterization. I thought it was ironic, considering this movie doesn't have any characterization in its characters. And the actual kind of dialogue itself as well is kind of a little cheesy and sort of stilted as well. So the whole thing seems very kind of like poor acting, poor kind of dialogue, and quite frankly, with zero kind of characterization. And then when it comes actually down to the actual scare itself, despite I feel the setting being pretty good, and I'm going to say the killer, the guy they've got to play it is this kind of big guy, and I appreciate the attempt here to kind of move somewhat naturally, but the actual design isn't particularly exciting. It's ultimately a guy with kind of a sack on his head, and I know we've kind of seen that in obviously the Friday the 13th movie, but nonetheless, it doesn't really make, for nowadays anyway, it doesn't make for a particularly kind of a memorable villain, really. They're just kind of, they're getting chased around the kind of the building lots, and they just tend into a very kind of workman-like kind of slasher movie. So if you're really into this kind of slasher films, I feel this does have a little bit of a fun element in regards to the kind of the reality kind of TV side of things, which I maybe think gives it somewhat of a little bit of an original twist. But it's really crippled by some overly hammy acting, zero kind of characterization, and quite frankly, humdrum plot. So I'm going to give this one a 4 out of 10. Have you seen it? What did you think of it? Leave me a comment, and I shall look forward to seeing you next time. Bye for now.